All right, we'll wait one more minute and see if anyone else is going to join us today. We need everyone to have a chair, and I am going to be doing some stuff today that I don't want your chair to slide. So if you feel like your chair, when you start putting weight on it, will slide, then maybe you want to put it on a mat. If a yoga mat isn't, in your practice, it can also just be kind of pushed against a wall, because we'll use the seat of it for the part that I'm worried about. But just when we're doing things like this, I want you to be able to feel like the chair underneath your hands is good and not going to slide anywhere on you. So I'll start mine on a mat. Okay. All right. Come and sit in your chair. Allow your sit bones to just wiggle in and find the space on the chair. Let the crown of your head rise. Lift and tap your feet a little bit, allowing the soles of your feet to just soften into the floor. Feel your feet on the floor, your bum in your chair, your spine tall. Maybe allowing the shoulders to rest down the back body. Just start to pay attention to your breath. I was sharing with my first class this morning about how I've been thinking a lot about truth. It feels like there's a lot of information coming at us right now, and it's really hard to sort of sift through it and be able to feel and find what is the truth in it all. And there's something really important about that, because we're all seeking to find that truth, probably more than ever. And so when I'm reading about the yamas and niyamas, which are the ethical practices of yoga, satya is truth, and it is the second of the ethical principles in yoga. And it just talks about how truth is fluid. And as we gather more information and we become exposed to more points of view, perhaps we can fill in details and gather data that help us feel like we're more close to the truth. I think we need to keep a really open mind about that right now, because the truth is somewhere shifting and changing and evolving as we gather more data as a society and a culture and a planet. There's also something to be said for being fluid in our own truth, knowing that we can't just stay parked in one camp, in one set of beliefs. That beliefs that served us in one part of our life might not serve us in another part of our life. And a belief that serves us really well in one area maybe can't be applied in a different area. When we come to our body to do our yoga practice, we find our own truth. So we are here today to explore the truth in our own physical body. The word yoga means union, and it is union of mind, body, soul. So we want to find the place where everything feels congruent. What our body says and what our mind says and what our soul says are all in agreement. And our breath is sort of what helps us reconcile all those things. So as we're practicing yoga, we want to practice in a way where the breath is really fluid and strong. It's expansive, because that expansion presence has a sense of agreement to it. We're all in agreement. As soon as the breath gets tight, it is showing a little bit of disparity between what the mind is trying to do or the body's trying to do and how they don't necessarily agree with each other. So when we move too far in a yoga pose and things get tight and achy and we can feel our breath tense up in our bodies, we've just gone too far. So today, maybe let that be your underlying question, your intention. What is my truth? Where is my truth in my practice today? What can my mind and my body and my soul all agree on where I'm at? Sit bones ground, feet on the mat, hands open. Let's start to just do our hand motions where the thumbs reach up to the sky and then back down to the floor. Yay. Rolling the wrists right, rolling the wrists left. Start to take your elbow joints and feel like they turn to the ceiling and back down again. Nice. And then lift your elbows up high and sweep your hands back and forth. Maybe do a couple circles each way there. Yeah, fun, hey? And then shoulders roll back again, roll back again. Bring your arms out wide like cactus pose, and then squeeze your shoulder blades open away from your spine as your elbows come together, and then squeeze the shoulder blades towards the spine. So don't worry so much about what your elbows are doing, but pay close attention to feeling the slide of the shoulder blades on your back body. Nice. That open and close, just feeling really good. Nice. And then the shoulders roll down. Feel like the arm bones roll backwards and the palms face up, and the arm bones roll forwards and the back starts to arch. So there's this big opening as you inhale and this nice rounding and closing as you exhale. And breathe in. What's tight today? What feels good? Bring your hands this time forward onto your legs. Let the spine be nice and tall. And then twist. Yeah, and twist. Nice. Maybe your hands are at your heart here. Maybe they're just sliding along your thighs. And then come back to center, bringing the fingertips right up onto the shoulder caps and lean. Just reminding all the different parts of our body that they have momentum and purpose, and we invite them to participate in our stability and our strength and our flexibility and our balance. As we go through all the movements in our yoga practice, it's like we're just moving through every one of the recruits that we can have and asking them to play an active part. Yeah. The more you can let your breath slow down, the more you can allow this movement back and forth to feel good. And then come back to center. Shoulders roll down the back. Nice. Sit bones ground, crown of your head is nice and tall. And slide your bum right to the front edge of your chair. Good. Pick up this right foot and take it all the way over to the side. So it feels like this is as close to 90 degrees as it's going to get. If it's like 45 degrees, that's fine. And then walk the feet backwards a little bit so that it feels like everything's twisted. Feet are twisted, and then let yourself twist the other way. Breathe. Twisting away from those feet. Nice. And now twist towards them and away from them. Yeah. As you sweep the right leg forward again, crisscross the ankles in front of you, sit tall and lean forward. Yeah. Lift the spine all the way up and plant your feet on the ground. Pick up the left foot and open it to the side. You're thinking of these legs being 90 degrees to each other, the square. And then walk the feet off to the side. Good. Nice tall stretch. We're stretching away from the feet. Breathe. Breathe. And then let yourself turn and stretch towards the feet. Yeah. Back to center. We're going to go one more time away. And one more time toward the feet. Yeah. Okay. So when left sweeps forward, crisscross your ankles. You're sitting square in your chair. Nice tall spine and lean forward. Yeah. Good. Inhale, come up. Plant the feet. Ready? We're going to take right foot out to the side. Lean the feet up. Sit tall, twist towards the feet. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Inhale up, twist away from the feet. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Nice. Unwind the spine to center. Take the right foot, cross it over the left, sit nice and tall. Maybe hands are at heart here. Lean forward. Inhale all the way up. Undo those legs. Good. Feet flat on the floor. Take the left foot out to the side. Roll onto the sides of those feet. Lengthen up, twist towards the toes. 3 breaths. Come all the way back to center. Twist away from the toes. Yeah. Let's unwind one more time. Back. Forward and to the other side. Nice. Bring yourself to center. Back leg sweeps forward, crisscrosses over the front leg. Square yourself and then fold forward. Maybe hands are on legs, maybe hands are at heart. Chin is soft, back of your neck feels long. Nice stretch through the hip flexors there. Good. And inhale and come back up again. Sweet. Soles of your feet plant. Let's cross the right leg over top of the left leg. Sit tall. Lean forward there. Yeah. All the way up. Uncross the right, cross the left. Sit tall, lean forward. Nice. And come all the way up. Good. Crisscross those feet. Take the legs out wide. Hands slide down to the ends of the knees. And we do one shoulder drop to the middle. Come back up again. Some of these movements feel familiar. And yet from week to week, they change in how they feel in our bodies. So every time you practice, the body gives you data. It tells you, how does this feel today? Maybe this is a pose that's usually difficult. Today it feels easy. Maybe it's the opposite. This pose usually feels easy and today it feels more difficult. It's all data. It's the fluidity of truth. What's true one day might not be the next. So we want to be malleable enough. We want to be open-minded enough, flexible enough that we can watch and observe and shift as we gather more data and we find more details that help us make sense of things. Yeah. Inhale, come back to center. Good. And then as you're sitting on your chair, I want you to just do nice big circles. Sweet. And then go the opposite way. Good. And then come back up to center. Sit bones on the chair. You're going to bring your heels in close enough that we can come to standing. So we are practiced at not heaving off our arms to be able to come to a standing position. The hands can slide to the end of your legs. Maybe you're even going to let yourselves come onto your forearms. But really notice that rather than pressing forearms into legs to come up, you're going to press feet into floor. Activate from the soles of the feet into the calves, into the thighs. Feel even like your quads get strong. And then as you lean forward, the legs get even stronger and the bum lifts up off the ground. So just let the bum keep rising, your spine tips forward, and then bring the hands flat onto the legs. From that point, pull open the front side of the body, like the collarbones are reaching away from the tops of your hips, lengthening all the way along that front side. And then the shoulders open wide, drawing away from the sternum, from the breastbone, the collarbones, lengthening across the front side of your body. Breathe here. Feels like the back side of your body is just collecting, gathering, contracting the muscles as the front side of the body opens up. Nice. One more breath. Bend into your knees. Inhale your hands all the way up to the sky. Sweet. Hands come to your heart. Breathe in, hands to sky. Breathe out, hands to heart. One more. And hands come down to heart. Nice work. So here's where I want you to play around with your chair. I want your chair to be somewhere where it can't slide away from you as you place weight on it. So you're going to have the seat of the chair facing you, and the back of the chair can be all four legs on a mat, or you can push that chair right up against something where it won't move. Nice. Good. So inhale your hands all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, I want you to plant them onto that chair. Maybe take the feet one step further backwards. And all I want you to do is allow yourself to think of the spine in a long straight line, like you've slid a big steel pipe to encase the spine and it has no bend in it. And just really feel the bend at your arms and your hip joints. Just imagine right now you're shaking things up. You know, you throw flour into a sifter and then you shake that sifter right and left, and the particles that are small enough drop in, and the big blobs that are stuck together stay on top. And just think right now of how we have to sift through truth. We want to be able to just move it back and forth, oscillate it back and forth, letting all of the good stuff filter in to our systems and extracting out all of the garbage, all the stuff that's going to ruin the ingredients. Nice. Okay, so come forward, bend the knees a bit. Inhale the hands all the way up to the sky. Bring the hands down to your heart. Sweet. Bring hands up to sky. Nice big exhale, forward fold. Put hands onto the chair and then take another step backwards. I want you to slide the hips further back and then bring them forward and slide the hips. Yeah, so you can really feel the opening happening at your armpits and the hips. Perhaps you're even feeling the opening happening in the backs of your legs. Nice. Nice. And just sink into whatever version of that pose is. Beautiful. And then inhale, pull yourself all the way up. Step forward with one foot, then the other. Bend knees. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, one step further. Inhale, hands up to sky. Exhale, bring the hands to the chair. So now I want you to take a bigger step back with your right foot and almost lunge it behind you. Good. Bend into your front knee, push into that back heel. If you can, you're going to bring the fingertips to the edge of your chair. You'll start to notice if you have enough stability in the legs to bring the hands to the thigh. And some of you might feel you can actually lift those hands up to the sky. Breathe. Whatever version you have, just make sure you have a big, steady breath, because that's what you need here. You need open breath to help you find the version of the pose that's the best and supportive for you. Good. So rock forward into this front leg, push off the back toes, step forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands flow through heart to come back to chair, and we lunge with the left foot. Toes come back down onto the floor. Front knee bends a little bit. Breathe there. If it feels okay, you're bringing your fingertips to the edge of the chair. Balance is available. Hands come to thigh. If everything still feels good, fingers go all the way up to the sky. Good. Push into that back heel. Reach through the front knee. Breathe. Nice work. Nice work. You're finding wherever your spot needs to be. Hands can come back down to the chair. Front foot takes your weight. Push off the back toes. Land the feet. Bend the knees. Inhale, hands to sky. Nice. Exhale, hands down. Good. Inhale, hands to sky. Take a deep forward fold. Set the hands down. This time, step back with your right foot. only far enough that the heel could land on the floor. Yeah, breathe. Your hands now, deciding if they can come up to your hips, and then inhale to a really tall spine. Exhale to let yourself lean towards the chair. Inhale. Think of the spine being long and straight here. The hip flexors are doing the work. Good. Up. Forward. Big stretches happening in the legs, I know. Good. Bend into the front knee. Back foot steps forward. Inhale, hands to sky. Drop them to heart. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. We take a step, or to the chair seat. We take a step back with the left foot. Push the feet into the ground. Lengthen through the spine. Let the feet feel connected. Bring hands to legs, hips, and then just begin to bring the spine back to upright and do a forward fold. So spine stays straight. Imagine you've still got that steel casing around it, and all the work we're doing is at the hip creases. Nice. Chin stays soft, back of your neck is long. Good. Coming all the way up, bend into your knees, back foot steps forward, inhale, hands to sky, and exhale, hands down to the chair. Good, both knees bend. Let's step back. Bend deeply into the knees so that you can push your bum to the back edge of your mat. Seal your hands in. Just notice how that feels. Good work. And then come up, hands really plant in the chair. You feel it doesn't move. And then take the feet even further back. Take the feet even further back and then stretch into almost a deeper downward dog. And then I want you to pull the hips forward. Some of you will feel like you can go all the way to like a plank pose. Some of you will feel like that's a bit too far and you'll keep the hips a bit lifted. But you're coming to as far as straight as you can. And then going all the way back again, and then coming to let yourselves be straight or towards that pose. You might not get all the way to straight. It's a lot of work for the arms to be able to support body weight here. But we're just playing around with being able to put weight into the arms without messing with your knees too much. Good. Okay. Step one foot forward. Other foot forward, lift back to parallel to the floor, bend knees, inhale, hands come all the way to the sky. Exhale, good. Inhale up, exhale, hands come to heart. Nice work. Okay, I'm going to turn my chair around so that I can practice another way. Yeah. So not so much hips and shoulders now. We're going to move into some of the more finesse, some of the other joints. We want to do a little bit more for ankles now. Okay, so standing behind your chair, fingertips can touch. Remember those fingertips, you can put as much weight in them as you need to give you balance and flexibility, but you're always testing, could you use a little tiny bit less? And you notice, if we're thinking about truth, some weeks you have more ability than you do other weeks. Lifting those ankles and setting them back down again. The heels rising up the floor, peeling up the sole of the foot, setting it back down. Noticing if you can stop those heels and ankles from capsizing out to the sides. Yeah. Nice, we can feel that all the way up through our hips and bum cheeks. Coming all the way down and taking the right foot, toenails pressed down on the floor, little stretch. Top of the foot pressing down towards the mat. Slide that forward and do the same with the other side. Toenails go into the floor. Crown of your head high, shoulders dropped. Nice work. Yeah. And then slide the foot forward. Separate the toes out nice and wide, and then just begin to almost plie, as if you're a ballerina behind a bar. The knees reaching out over the toes, the hips sinking down. Your goal is to slide down an imaginary wall. So as the knees bend, your bum's not poking back behind you. The whole bowl of the pelvis staying nice and neutral. Breathe. Nice work in that up and down movement. Good. Coming back up. And feet can come back together. I'm going to stand so that one hand can touch that chair and be stability for me, but I want you to take your feet nice and wide apart. And then maybe one of your hands can touch something around you so that you've got a little bit of opportunity for balance and support should you want it. My front toes turn towards the chair. Back of my foot for me is going to be parallel to the back edge of my mat. Sink into that front knee. Lift the back fingers. You can do whatever you want with this front hand. It can stay there. You can reach it and you could lift it. Breathe. So your choice. Maybe top hand goes to skies, front leg bends, and you keep your hand on the chair. Maybe it feels okay to let fingers reach up to the sky and use the whole body. Breathe. So front knee lunges every time the hands come down. Front knee straightens every time the hand comes up. Good. Nice. Nice. Okay, up. And then as hands come down, I want you to reach out over that chair. Let your arm settle on it and take this top hand up and over. Back down again. Up. So you're almost going to do a side bend. As that hand stretches over, you can arc into the top body, the top ribs lifting up to the ceiling. Maybe the front leg straightens, it doesn't matter to me. And back again. Open up the ribs, stretch them to the ceiling, come back down again. Good work. And then lift yourself back up to warrior two. Your hands can rest down, your front knee straightens, toes can go wherever you want. Walk them back together. My chair is going to come to the other side of the mat just so that you can still see the front side of me. You might just turn, your choice, however it works best in your home. Back foot presses down into the floor, front knee bends. Really reach through that front knee. It stacks right on top of the ankle. Shoulders roll down your back, hands lift, breathe. Good, so as fingers come up to the sky, front leg straightens. As hands come back down again, front knee bends. Remember, if there's any support required in your body today, you just keep one finger, a little bit of weight in your hand on the seat of that chair, because we're still getting good mobility in through shoulder and knee. We're going to really work. You can feel in all the different motions that we're doing. We're getting range of motion as much as we can through the whole hip socket, through the whole shoulder joint, ankles, elbows, knees, wrists. Good. Sinking into that front knee, top hand goes all the way open. We can feel the ribs open up to the sky. Maybe your front knee bends or straightens. Coming back up to warrior two. Sliding open again. Breathe. My front hand just stays connected to my chair to help me open up the side body. And I am straightening my front knee. It just feels like it takes the hip into the stretch a bit more. You can choose what feels best in your body. Bent knee works too. Last one. Good. All the way back up. Straighten that front knee. Hands can release and heel toe your feet back together. All right, good work. We're going to stand behind this chair. Hands connect, walk the feet back. You can feel this It's similar to what we were just doing with the hands on the seat of the chair. Bend into the knees and push those heels back behind you. Breathe. Good. All right, coming back up. When you come down this time, hands can come all the way up to the sky. Exhale, releasing them to the back of the chair. Walk yourself backwards. And then just lift the right heel. Bring it down, let it plant. Lift the left heel. And as you do that, just notice how high you can lift the heel without letting the right hip, like if you're lifting the right heel, how high can you lift it before it feels like the whole body starts to turn? And then bring it down again. Other side, how high can it lift without peeling that same hip up towards the ceiling? Good. One more time each side. And release. Last foot, last side, lift. My room is the perfect distance for me to just put my feet on the wall. Release, bend your knees, walk your feet forward. Good. Okay, so we're standing behind the chair. Let's just inhale, hands to sky. Drop them down to the chair. Good. Soles of your feet on the floor, toes and heels touching. Slide your back down an imaginary wall. Fingertips gently on the back of the chair. Breathe. Allow the tailbone to feel like it just drops to the floor. Imagine a floating shelf on your low back and someone brings a sledgehammer and just knocks it off, and just feel all the tension of your low back get heavy, the hips sort of release, and then feel your quads engage. There's a lot of strength here. Breathe. As you scan your upper body, release the shoulders, the neck. Just let your chin shift back and forth. Take some deep breaths into the strength of your legs right now. Good. Press into the soles of the feet. Let yourself come all the way up to flat feet and then all the way up onto tippy toes. Breathe on those tippy toes, on the balls of your feet and the toes, maybe not tippy toes. Good. And then coming down, heels plant, hips sink low, back up, toes, heels down, hips sink. Good, nice. Okay, taking a step back with the right foot, plant the heel down on the ground, lengthen and let yourself come forward here. Breathing again. Feel the spine nice and flat. Inhale, let yourself come all the way up, bend into knees, step forward, left foot steps back. Same thing, nice long spine folds forward over that front leg. You go only as far as you can with a nice flat back. Breath. Inhale and come all the way up. Bend into the knees, step forward. I'm going to open so that my feet have that wide stance again, turning the toes and opening them out. The knees bend gently out over top of those toes. Heels press into the floor now. Before you move anywhere, your hands can still be touching for support. Feel the inner thighs, and I want you to pull them open. Pull them towards the bones. Pull the bones towards the back of your body, the back of your mat. Yeah. And just play there with strength. And now I want you to shift your weight gently from right foot to left foot. Yeah. Good work. Can you do both those things at the same time? Pull the thighs to the back of the room, back and shift. Good, now settle in somewhere, knees are bent. Bring your fingertips, if you can, from the chair to the ends of your knees. And then reach one shoulder down and pull yourself back up again. Reach one shoulder down and pull yourself back up. Nice work. Nice work. Yeah. Good. 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 Okay. Flat back lifts all the way up to the ceiling. Bent knees straighten. Heels and toes come together. Hang on to that chair. So if my right hand is hanging onto the chair, I'm going to just do circles with my left knee, drawing circles as big as I can. Let yourself go both directions. Good. Okay, so I'm going to go from that side to doing the other leg. I'm just going to turn around for a second here. Big circles. I'm going to go 3 one direction. Turn that around and go 3 the opposite direction. Sweet. Bring that down. Feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart, toes pointing forward. And then slide your hips right and left as if they are in the track of a sliding door. There's no twist. They can only stretch as far as they can to the left and as far as they can to the right. Anyone who got out and did some gardening or anything in the last week has sure felt their hips. I know I felt it. All right. Okay, come back to standing. Before we move anywhere else, let's just do a check-in. It's so good to feel in this standing position. So to mountain pose, Tadasana, is feet just hip width apart. Lift and wiggle your toes. Roll around to all corners of your feet until you feel like your weight is even between the front of the foot, the back of the foot, the inside and outside of each foot. Yeah. Go up the legs to the knees. Just notice that they are not locked backwards. Perhaps there's even a soft bend in them. If that soft bend allows in any way the back to feel released, then keep that soft bend. When you bring your awareness to your pelvis, it's not tipped or tucked or hiked up on one side. Just mess with that. Yeah. Shoulders lift up to the ears and they roll down the back. Just feel the distance of the spine from the tailbone to the very top of the cervical spine. If you bring your fingertips up and put them right in your ears, that, if you trace that to the middle of your skull, that's where the top of your spine is. And then release those hands. Shake and nod your head. Just feel how you've hooked your head on the very top of your spine. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears and drop them down your back body. Perhaps the top palms even turn open a tiny bit. Notice if you're breathing through your nose or your mouth. If it's possible to shift breath to nose, go ahead. Feel that breath radiate out through your fingertips. Radiate down into your toes. The life force, the prana. This is always here. It just feels like it's bigger now because we're paying attention. Nice work. Nice work. And as you release out of that. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to take your chair and put it again somewhere where it doesn't have the ability to move. And you have space in front of it. So now I'm gonna put that chair right up against my wall. Might even put a blanket over top of the back of it. Okay, we're not quite going to all the way to the floor yet. So don't get excited if you think you're setting up for Shavasana. We're gonna do one more thing first. So there's the way my chair is set up. So for those of you who don't wanna come to the floor for me now, sit in your chair and modify and find a movement that best echoes what I'm doing on the floor. I'm not positive what that's gonna be today. You might choose to have a pillow close by, and you're gonna bring yourself down to the floor, sliding your bum close to the chair and bringing the calves up on it. I'm saving this pillow for a little bit later. Nice. So right heel and left heel come to the edge of your chair, and then just begin to lift and lower. You might have to experiment with how far away you are from the chair, but if I bring my heels up, then I can bring my fingertips right here and just lift and lower. If this feels really crazy on your back, you can be further away from your chair, feet on the floor, and do the same lift and lower in a smaller range. So you get to sort of choose here. If you are in a chair, then this is almost you practicing standing. Yeah, your fingertips can be right on that hip crease. You're thinking of the motion coming from the hinge of your hips and not from your low back rolling up and down off the floor. Good. It feels pretty fun to have the feet on the chair, lifting and lowering there. Good. Okay, so feet, bum lands. Let's bring the calves back into the chair and then just lift that right foot up to the sky and pull it back towards you. Let the knee hit the back of the chair and pull it back towards you. It doesn't matter if your knee wants to be more bent, you can still reach the knee to touch the back of the chair seat and then pull it back towards you. Good. Settle that right foot down. Lengthen the left as far as it wants to be lengthened. Let the leg rest against the chair and pull it towards you. Pull it away from the chair. Remember, the knee is only as straight as it wants to be. Good work. Good work. Okay, so then both knees come into your chest a little bit. Your arms can open wide, and then just take your hips and let them roll to the right. You can let them come down really close to the floor if you want. If they don't feel like they're going to come down close to the floor, what I can do is you can let your ankles kind of rest on the edge of your chair and then the knees fall off to one side. So my heels find the edge of that chair just so that there's a little bit more movement, but my knees don't feel like they have to go all the way to the floor. If they feel like they can go further and you guys do have some prop that you can let them lower to, you can feel free. But it's a pretty big stretch, so sometimes it feels enough just to let the heels be on the edge of the chair. A few more breaths. And then all the way back up to center as I slide my heels over to the opposite chair, opposite side, if that's chair seat. Letting the knees fall open to the side. You can play with lifting the heels off and noticing if the legs want to lower all the way down towards the floor. If you do have a prop that can be placed there to catch them, then that can allow you to go deeper. If there's no prop and it doesn't feel like the legs want to go down that far, then just stay up here. Might not be as deep as your body can go today, but it's a nice gentle stretch. Good. One more breath. And then let everything come back up to center. I'm gonna bring the soles of my feet together on the edge of this seat and bring the fingertips onto the inner thigh and just gently open the knees out to the side. I think the hardest part of this pose for me today is where my feet are pressing into the sides of the chair. It feels a bit tender. Let's notice that. Good. Draw your knees back into center. You can play here with happy baby pose. So maybe you just hang on to your shins. Perhaps you can bring your hands to the backs of your thighs, pulling the thighs down into your chest, the knees into your armpits, and at the same time feeling your tailbone uncurl into the floor. opening the soles of your feet up to the ceiling. If any of you feel like there's more flexibility in your body available today, you can hang on to the backs of your calves, or some of you can grab the inner arches. This is all perfectly acceptable, right? All the options. Nice. And then reach those toes all the way to the ceiling, point them, flex them. Legs are as straight as they can be, as they want to be today. Point and flex those toes. Then separate the feet a little bit, roll ankles. And then just do the rotation where it's almost like the feet are windshield wipering on the ceiling, and you're finding external and internal rotation. Doesn't matter to me if the feet are going opposite each other or if they're in sync. Yeah. Slowly release the calves onto the back of your chair. Melt the back into the floor. We are moving towards Shavasana now. Your arms can open up wide beside you. They're welcome to be closed, palms on belly. Or you can even let them reach up above your head, just as long as the elbows and the knuckles or the wrists have somewhere to rest. Giving ourselves time to just notice the sensations of the body. Sometimes we notice our limitations, what felt tight and rigid today, perhaps what restricted our breath. Maybe we noticed the possibility, the potential. We noticed how our practice is serving us and making us stronger. Maybe it was both. Some poses showed us potential. Some poses exposed limitations. Maybe that's the truth of it, is that they're both correct. Maybe there's a kernel of truth in all the things that we're hearing. It just gets lacquered up to be disguised as the whole truth. And just as sometimes we do that in our own bodies, we take one little kernel of truth and then we try and multiply it and make it our whole truth. When it's just one piece of the puzzle. And so we come to our practice today to just be really honest and open to truth. Feeling it and experiencing it in our physical body, in the movement and the freedom that we feel in our breath, and how our ego is able to accept all of the data that's coming in. So in our practice, we not only bring flexibility and suppleness, malleability into the body, but we're trying to bring that same open feeling into our mind. Giving ourselves the tools we need to sift through everything that we're ingesting and absorb all of the stuff that feels like it has the grain of truth, and to pull out, pull apart, separate from everything that does not. allowing yourself to have up to 5 or 6 more breaths here. Deepening your breath, exhaling out through your mouth. Stretching in any way it feels good. Beginning to let yourself move out of this position. Bringing yourself back up to a seated pose. Well, namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. I'll come over and see if I can unmute you. There we go. Hi, everyone. Thanks for putting up with all my little technical difficulties today, everyone.
Thank you, Jill.
You're so welcome.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Jill.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mom. Enjoy your week, everyone.